There's something I don't understand. We say HaKadosh Baruch Hu created heaven and earth, knows everything that's going on, and so on and so forth, right? It's so powerful. So if it's so powerful, why in the world does he need to give 10 makot to persuade Pharoah to send him inside? You know, you Hashem, give him one zetz, and that's it. So why are you going to tell me because if he gives 10 makot, his name is going to become greater? No, on the contrary. If you give him one zetz, one makah, one lesson, he gets petrified and says, okay, go. I mean, for example, lahavdil. Let's say you are a boxer in the ring. What will be more impressive? You come to the guy, you throw like 10 rounds of punches, and then the guy falls out. You give him KO and he falls out. Or comes to the thing, boom, one punch, he's gone. You know? Why do we need 10 makot? Is it chas v'shalom, lack of ability of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? He didn't know what he was doing. I don't understand this. It's a good question, right? Good question? All right, let's go home. Of course, it's absolutely wrong to think that way. Of course, when there is something like that, we need to understand not why HaKadosh Baruch Hu did this or that. What is it that we're supposed to learn from such a thing? What does it tell me on the inside? Bapnimiyut. You know, when things are hard, and life is hard. Life, as I said to you a million times, it does not make a difference what would you do in life. It does not make a difference how much money you have in life. Everybody has its share or his share of hardship and difficulties and so on and so forth. Argument's sake. Take, what's his name? Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs. Apple. You know what hard time this guy had? He was altogether adopted. You know what hardship he had? And then, with all his fame and glory, he's dead, you know, young. Everybody has its hardship, one way or another. You're not going to be able to run away with it, from it. However, since we know we can run away from it, let's see what this hardship actually does to us. When things are hard, usually we become, as we said yesterday, we become very impatient. When things are hard and somebody's pressing you, or you tense up, it's called stress, you tense up. You know, sometimes from being so tense, you get like a cramp in the muscles. Usually people stiff their necks, even at night. They're so tense at night, they can't relax, they press on the pillow. Oh, and my neck hurts. They go all day long. Oh, I'll get up in the morning with a stiff neck. Sometimes Am Yisrael, when we say Am Yisrael, and we always speak about Am Yisrael in not a positive ways. Am Yisrael is a stiff-necked people. They're very difficult, they're very hard, very stubborn. But sometimes you have to look at the difference because of the hardship they have. They're so stiff-necked, their body tense, they're always under pressure, they're always suffering, always somebody's trying to hurt them, and so on and so forth. They become stiff. And when there is a lot of weight, you can't carry it alone, you start to become bent. In our case, who did this to Am Yisrael? Pharoah. Came Pharoah. And he made their life miserable. The Torah says, Vayakam melech chadash, right? There was a new king. Asher lo yada et Yosef. He didn't know Yosef. Yosef represent, remember, Yosef represent the opportunist. The guy who you throw him into the pits, and like the phoenix, he always rises from that to a higher place, to a higher place. The lower you throw him, the higher he springs himself up. That's Yosef. The opposite of Yosef is Paro. And what is Paro? Chazal tell us, if you take the letters of Paro, the name Paro, you can make kind of delights with it. For example, Paro, Pe Ra, a bad mouth, a guy who always speaks negative. He's always bad. How you doing? Bad. How things? Horrible. This. How's your work? You got a new job? Yeah, that. Always Pe Ra, always speaks bad. About his situation, about himself, about others. There are people who are professional, negative people. They speak bad about everybody. All they care about is something bad. I mean, they never bother to change the situation or to help somebody or to make the situation better. That's not their interest. Their interest is to speak bad. Pe Ra. There are other people, if you take the word Paro, instead of Pe Ra, call it Po Ra. Here it's bad. These are the people who are never content with what they have. Right now it's bad. Ooh, it's better over there. Let's move over there. Goes over there. It's not good here. It's good there. Where I went was good. Like people, right? They have a job. How's your job? Bad, man. They don't treat me right. Bad. They don't pay me enough. I think I'm going to move somewhere else. I'm going somewhere else. Over there, man, they treat the people good. He goes over there. No, how's your new job? Bad, man. I was so much better in the other place. I think I'm going to move back there. I'm going to move out of here. Po Ra. Always. They never see the good in what they have. Since you live in the now, their life is one big misery. Ra. Po Ra. It could also play around. It's called Mufra. Lifroa is to mess up. Or a disturbed person. It comes anywhere, creates chaos. Everything is tranquilo, everybody is harmony with each other, kol tov v'yafeh. I don't know, it's a shul, everybody is lavi-davi. Please sit in my seat, no problems, right? People are giving, are sharing, they're doing. Comes this individual, comes this begara, this bad instrument, and messes things around. So you know what he said about you? You know what he said about you? He creates animosity, he creates hate, disturbance, messes up everything. Pharoah messes up everything. And then he goes. And then he leaves a disaster, burnt ground after him. Each and every one of us has this Paro internally inside of us. The Gemara says, the Midrash says Paro was not a big person. The Midrash says Paro was something like 3 feet high, tall. That was his height. What does it mean? Other measurements also, but right now let's concentrate on his height. Why does the Midrash say he was 3 feet tall? Because the Paro inside of us is a small element. It's an element from us, but it's a small element. But it makes a lot of noise. Imagine you have an empty barrel. An empty barrel, 500-gallon barrel. You can make a nice smoker out of that. It's a big barrel. But you have a small pebble inside. And you roll it, it makes a lot of noise. It makes a lot of clutter, a lot of noise. You hear it. I don't know if you can imagine that, but you can hear it. And that is the Paro inside of us. is like this little pebble that keeps on spinning around us all the time and all the time and all the time and all the time, and tells you you can't, 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 you can't. And comes HaKadosh Baruch Hu and teaches us a lesson. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu would have come in and give Paro a knockout, boom, you out, from that point and on, Am Yisrael, or us, will get used to the fact that somebody will always save us. Comes HaKadosh Baruch Hu and he starts slowly. Why? To start bringing about in Am Yisrael the notion that they have the internal ability to rise and fight against that noise that disturbs and create chaos in their life. You have the power. Each and every one of us has this power that does not stop making noises. All you need is somebody to whisper in your ear all day long. Hello, hello, hello. You're going to go crazy at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you could be in Times Square. All you hear is hello, hello. You're going to go crazy. To be able to find this power within you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, look, listen, don't be afraid of this Paro. Don't be so afraid of him. Look, I gave him a little blood, smoke on the water. Blood, that was all right. The people should have said, hey, it's not so bad. We demand. We have rights. That didn't bring about the people. So he gave them tzfardea. Maybe they will wake up. And so on and so forth. Dam, tzfardea, kinim, marov, da-da-da. For the people to be able to get used to the ability to start comprehending that they can fight any obstacles that stands in their way, and the reason they don't, or the reason obstacle is because they did not remove it. You work hard. You work hard. And guess what? You just came home late. You stayed home. You did overtime. You came home, 10:30 at night. You got tired, so on and so forth. Guess what? Next day, you have to go to work again. Next day, you have to go to work again. You have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and start all over again. And he says, no, I can't do it. You're waiting for somebody else to wake you up. Oh, yes, you can. If you decide. If you didn't get up in the morning, it's because you decided not to get up in the morning. You let this Paro inside of you take over you. There's no such thing as I cannot do, unless there is some kind of like a learning disability in you, that you are learning disabled. Everybody should be able, with the proper training, pass college math. It's not so difficult. It's just what you decided to put as an obstacle. You determined that you cannot do it, and therefore it would never get done. It will never get done. I forgot where I read it. I read a book about the guy who wanted to go to the Olympics. He says, I'm going to go to the Olympics. Well, he's not an Olympian, It looked like a little Buddha, whatever. But I forgot which field he found that he was able to go to the Winter Olympics. He said, I became an Olympian. That's your goal. That's what will happen. You'll find a way to get that, whatever dream you have to get done. The problem is we have a lot of dreams, but we say from the beginning, they're just dreams. We're never going to tap into them. Why? Because we have Paro, because he gives us a lot of work. Give us a lot of work. Homer, levenim, avodah kasha, hard work, a lot of work, endless work. Can't do it. And you tell him, no, yes I can. And as a matter of fact, listen, Mr. Paro, listen, Habibi, I'm in control here. Let me ask you this. How many Paro were there? One. How many Bnei Israel were there? 4 million. They have a big army. Okay, they have a big army. But you forget one thing. The Egyptians were more petrified of the Jews than the Jews realized. If there were, let's say, 3 million Jews there, what were the Egyptians afraid? That they're going to start a civil unrest. There were more slaves and other nations oppressed and occupied by the Egyptians than there were Egyptians. And that's exactly what they're afraid. What was the trick? We're going to kill them? No, we're going to give them a lot of work. We're going to break their soul. They're going to be so afraid of us because we're going to create that. Why? Because they allowed us. And so are we. We're afraid. We're afraid of this. We're afraid of that. We're afraid of tuition. Rabbi, you know how much is a tuition for a child? Rabbi, you know how much is a house? Good, so don't buy a big house. Why don't you simplify your life? Live a more simple life. Be in control of your life. You're making money? Terrific. Doesn't make a difference how much money you make. Save it. You are afraid. You are afraid because there are a lot of opinions. There are foreign opinions. They're not even yours. And comes HaKadosh Baruch Hu and tells you, Habibi, this is not the case. You have the ability. You have the power. You have the power and you need to acknowledge it. And he gives the makot to Paro to teach Bnei Israel to come up. But we refuse to understand that. You have more power than you realize you have. And there's always a small group of people that oppress a lot of people. It usually is the case. If you're big and you're strong, you don't need to oppress anybody. It's always going to be an elite and a regime that oppress a lot of the people, because the people don't understand that they have the power to rebel. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is coming to teach us a lesson. All these foreign ideas are not really your ideas. It's because of your fear, what he would say, what she would say, what they will say, what he would say, and so on and so forth. It is this trap that you keep on putting yourself into time and time and time again. The reason why I can't learn is because I have to work. And the reason why I have to work is because I have to do this. The reason that you made yourself a failure to begin with before you even tried. And that is something that you need to learn how to. So therefore, the reason why Kadosh Baruch Hu gave the 10 makot gradual, as we said, is not for Paro. It's more to teach Bnei Israel a lesson, to teach us a lesson. So don't let the lesson go to waste. Learn from it, apply for it, acknowledge your power, and do what you need to do. Shabbat Shalom.